Deep in the jungles of the Yucatan Peninsula, hidden beneath the dense canopy, there are holes in the earth that lead to another world. For modern tourists, these crystal-clear waters are beautiful swimming spots, a paradise on Earth. But for the ancient Maya, these were not pools. They were the gaping mouths of Xibalba, the terrifying underworld of fear, the place where the gods of death resided. Recently, archaeologist Guillermo de Anda made a chilling discovery that confirmed our worst nightmares. Diving at the bottom of the sacred cenote in Chichen Itza, amidst the silence, he found the remains of 127 human bodies. But the true horror was in the forensic details. 80% of them were children, between the ages of 3 and 11. Innocent lives offered to the abyss. Why would a civilization capable of advanced astronomy do this? The answer lies in the sky.
The Maya were masters of time, predicting eclipses centuries in advance, but they lived in constant terror of one thing: thirst. In the Yucatan Peninsula, there are no major rivers on the surface. The ground swallows the rain. The only source of life comes from the sky. Enter Chak, the rain god, a terrifying deity with a trunk-like nose of fangs, who demanded payment in blood to open the clouds. Before the sacrifice, a strange and specific ritual took place. The priests prepared a sacred mixture. The victims were not just thrown into the pit, they were painted from head to toe. Covered in a vibrant, indestructible pigment we now call Maya blue, a color that has survived on walls for thousands of years. This color was sacred. It chemically bonded with the object, making it weather-resistant. It marked them as property of the gods. Once painted, they were no longer human. They were offerings. They were led to the edge of the cenote, the mouth of the earth, as the priests chanted for rain, and pushed into the abyss, hoping their lives would buy water for the harvest.
But the Maya didn't just pray for rain, they played for their lives. This was not a sport for entertainment. Welcome to the great ball court of Chichen Itza, an arena larger than a modern football field, built with acoustic perfection. Here they played Pitz. The ball was made of solid rubber, weighing up to 9 pounds. It was a weapon. It was a lethal projectile. Players could not use their hands or feet, only their hips, elbows, and knees. The goal? To pass this heavy ball through a tiny stone ring set 20 feet high on a vertical wall. It was nearly impossible. Games could last for days without a single score, pushing human endurance to the breaking point. But this wasn't just a sport. It was a ritual reenactment of the sun's battle against the darkness of the underworld. When the game finally ended, the real horror began. The captain of the winning team, or perhaps the loser, faced destiny. He was often decapitated right there on the field, an honor and a sacrifice. His blood feeding the earth, ensuring the sun would rise again the next morning.
While Europe was in the Dark Ages, the Maya had already developed the most sophisticated writing system in the Western Hemisphere. It was not just simple pictures, it was a full language, capable of expressing poetry, history, and complex mathematics. They wrote thousands of books on bark paper, recording the movement of the stars and the lineage of their kings. But then the Spanish conquistadors arrived, and with them, Bishop Diego de Landa. In a single act of fanatical destruction, he ordered the burning of every Mayan book they could find. "We found a large number of books," Landa wrote, "and because they contained nothing but superstition and lies of the devil, we burned them all." The Maya watched in agony as their history, science, and soul turned to ash. Out of thousands of books, only 4 survived. Just 4. One of them, the Dresden Codex, contains astronomical tables so accurate they rival modern calculations. We can only imagine what secrets were lost in the fire forever. To modern eyes, the ancient Maya nobility would have looked striking, perhaps even alien. They practiced cranial deformation, From birth, an infant's head was bound between two wooden boards. This wasn't torture. It was the ultimate standard of beauty, mimicking the shape of an ear of corn. But their modifications didn't stop at the skull. They were also the world's first cosmetic dentists. Using primitive drills, they bored holes into the enamel with such precision that they didn't hit the nerve. They used natural sealants that have held these gems in place for over 1,000 years. Their medicine was equally advanced. They sutured wounds using human hair. And for surgery, they used obsidian blades, volcanic glass sharper than any modern steel scalpel. They even created prosthetics, false teeth made of jade and turquoise for the wealthy. A society of incredible refinement, existing side by side with brutal savagery.
For centuries, we believed the Maya were a collection of small, isolated city-states hidden in the jungle. We were wrong. We were only seeing the tip of the iceberg. Recent laser technology, known as LiDAR, has stripped away the trees digitally, revealing a megalopolis of over 60,000 previously unknown structures. They built a great wall of fortifications and huge raised highways called Sakbeob, connecting cities in a network that rivals modern highway systems. This wasn't a tribe, it was an empire of 10 to 15 million people. Deep in the forest lies El Mirador, home to La Danta, a pyramid so massive that it remains one of the largest structures ever built in the ancient world, and it is still mostly buried. But this massive population came with a terrible cost. They were terraforming the jungle to death.
By the year 800 AD, the clock ran out. The skies closed, and the rains simply stopped. Paleoclimatologists have found evidence of a mega drought that lasted not years, but decades. 95 years of dryness. Their massive reservoirs, engineering triumphs designed to hold water for 18 months, turned into toxic traps. Recent analysis shows the water was contaminated with cinnabar and algae. They were poisoning themselves with every sip. As resources vanished, the alliance of cities fractured. The kings went to war, not ritual war, but wars of annihilation. They called them Star Wars, military campaigns timed with the movement of Venus, the planet of war. But the gods did not answer. The crops failed. The common people, the millions who built the pyramids, did the only thing they could. They walked away. They abandoned the great stone cities to the jungle. Within a few decades, the jungle swallowed everything. Vines crushed the limestone. Roots tore apart the palaces. The silence of the Maya is not a mystery of disappearance, but a tragedy of survival.
But the story of the Maya does not end in ruin. In fact, we are just beginning to read the next chapter. LiDAR scans continue to reveal that there are more pyramids hidden under the Guatemalan soil than there are visible above it. Thousands of temples, palaces, and tombs are still out there, sleeping under the roots, waiting for the next generation of explorers to stumble upon them. And the people? They never vanished. The Maya are still here. Over 6 million descendants still live in these lands, speaking the languages of their ancestors. They weave the same cosmic patterns and worship on the steps of the same churches built over their temples. The empire fell, the cities were abandoned, but the culture survived the apocalypse. The jungle may have claimed the stone, but it could not claim the spirit. If you want to uncover more lost civilizations, subscribe to History Unveiled.